and India is a buzzing EV market.
India's electric vehicle market is gearing up for the fast lane as more and more companies rush into the space. After all, electric two-wheeler sales were nearly up 5 times.
While the world has been busy chasing Teslas, debating BYD's expansion, and watching NIO's futuristic concepts, something extraordinary just happened, but not where you'd expect. India, often overlooked in the high-stakes EV race, has quietly unveiled a game-changer.
India's economy is the world's third largest oil importer, spending about $150 billion a year. But a switch to eco-friendly electric cars could in fact save the country.
An electric car priced at just $2,099. Not a toy, not a prototype, but a real, road-ready vehicle. It's called the Yakuza EV, and it's already shaking the foundations of the global auto industry. With simple design, practical features, and a price tag that sounds almost impossible, it's forcing the world to rethink what electric mobility really means. This isn't just a budget car.
Electric vehicles are the biggest automotive trend. The technology is gaining traction worldwide.
It might just be the start of a revolution, and what happens next could change everything. The bold announcement that shocked the world. In a move that left the global auto industry stunned, India has just announced something no one saw coming: a fully functional electric car priced at only $2,099. That's not a typo. While companies like Tesla, BYD, and NIO continue to dominate headlines with luxury models and high-tech features, India has taken a completely different path, one rooted in accessibility, affordability, and bold innovation. The announcement, made quietly but confidently, has now exploded across the internet, drawing attention from auto analysts, tech experts, and EV enthusiasts around the world. Social media is flooded with reactions ranging from disbelief to applause, with many calling it a game-changer. The car, named the Yakuza EV, isn't just a product. It's a message to the world that clean mobility doesn't have to come with a luxury price tag. And perhaps the most surprising part? It's not just a concept or prototype, it's real, it's ready, and it's already turning heads in early previews. This is more than just an affordable car. It's a direct challenge to the global EV status quo.
India is already among the world's 10 biggest economies right now, but it's still trailing behind countries like the US and China. With this positive economic trajectory, is it on track at the moment to become an economic superpower?
Proving that innovation can come from unexpected places and that emerging markets can lead the charge in solving some of the world's biggest problems. In just one bold step, India has placed itself firmly on the front lines of the global EV revolution, and the world is finally paying attention. But is this the start of a new era, or just a temporary shock? That's what we'll explore next. Meet the Yakuza EV, India's $2,099 wonder car. The car causing all this global noise is called the Yakuza EV, a compact, all-electric vehicle designed with one clear mission: to make electric mobility affordable for everyone. At just $2,099, or around 1,75,000 rupees in Indian currency, this car breaks all expectations. It's small, yes, but it's smartly built. With a sleek, minimalistic design, lightweight frame, and futuristic, compact body, the Yakuza EV stands out not by being flashy, but by being incredibly practical. It offers a driving range suitable for daily commutes, short errands, and urban travel. With seating for 2, a digital dashboard, basic climate control, and USB charging ports, it packs just enough features to surprise you. But it's not trying to be a Tesla. It's trying to be a solution. A solution for crowded streets, high fuel costs, and a growing demand for cleaner transport. What makes the Yakuza EV even more impressive is its engineering. The battery is small but efficient. The motor is modest but reliable.
We're based on much more powerful, robust batteries.
The materials are simple but durable. This car wasn't built to impress luxury buyers. It was built to empower the average person. From college students to local shopkeepers, the Yakuza EV is designed to fit into everyday lives. It's easy to park, easy to charge, and incredibly easy to afford. And that's exactly why it's shaking up the industry. It's not just a car, it's a challenge to the global market that says, why can't electric be for everyone? And with that, India has officially changed the game. The Tata Nano flashback, lessons from the past. To understand just how significant the Yakuza EV is, we have to go back in time, to the launch of the Tata Nano in 2008.
The Tata Nano continues in a long line of inexpensive people's cars. When the Nano was launched, it was touted as a car that would change India.
Back then, India stunned the world by unveiling the Nano as the cheapest car ever made. It was a bold vision, to give every Indian family the chance to own a four-wheeler. The price? Just around $2,000. The world watched in awe, and headlines everywhere called it the people's car. But despite the excitement, the Nano struggled. Safety concerns, lack of marketing clarity, and the perception of being a cheap car rather than a smart one eventually led to its downfall. So why is the Yakuza EV different? Because India has learned. This time, the strategy isn't just about price, it's about timing, technology, and purpose. The world today is far more ready for electric vehicles. Fuel prices are rising, cities are polluted, and clean energy is no longer optional. It's urgent. The Yakuza EV doesn't promise luxury. It promises practicality. It enters a market where people are already looking for small, efficient, and affordable EVs. And unlike the Nano, the Yakuza isn't trying to be everything for everyone. It's focused. It knows its strengths. It's here to serve short-distance drivers, eco-conscious users, and first-time car owners. Where the Nano sparked a dream, the Yakuza is delivering it in electric form. And that's what makes this moment feel less like a repeat and more like redemption. The story of India's low-cost mobility isn't over. It's just getting recharged.
The Indian mobility industry is on track to experience major growth. Predictions estimate that the market will double.
What makes it so cheap? The secret behind the price. At just $2,099, the Yakuza EV has left people across the globe wondering, how can a working electric car possibly be this cheap? The answer lies in a combination of smart design choices, local production, and a deep understanding of what people actually need. Unlike luxury EVs packed with high-end tech, the Yakuza EV focuses on simplicity. Every feature in this car is there for a reason. There's no oversized screen, no self-driving software, no over-engineered performance. Instead, it uses a small but efficient lithium battery designed for city driving, paired with a lightweight motor that delivers just enough power for urban commutes. The body is built with cost-effective materials sourced locally, cutting down import expenses. Even the factory operations are streamlined, built with minimal automation to keep labor costs manageable while supporting local jobs. India's vast network of small suppliers also plays a role, providing affordable parts without compromising quality. But the biggest factor? Localization. The entire vehicle is manufactured in India, using Indian resources, Indian engineers, and Indian assembly lines. This eliminates the need for expensive global logistics. And let's not forget government support. With incentives, tax breaks, and EV-friendly policies, the path for a budget electric car was cleared faster than anyone expected. In short, the Yakuza EV is not cheap because it cuts corners. It's cheap because it's built with purpose. It's not trying to be flashy. It's trying to be functional, accessible, and truly for the people. And that mission is what sets it apart from everything else on the road today. Features that surprised everyone. At first glance, most people expect the Yakuza EV to be just a bare-bones vehicle, basic, uncomfortable, and stripped of all modern features. But the moment you step inside, you're greeted with a surprising sense of practicality and purpose. Despite its incredibly low price, the Yakuza EV doesn't feel like a compromise. It offers a neat digital dashboard, that gives you all the essential driving information: battery range, speed, and trip data, without the clutter. The seats, though compact, are cushioned and designed for comfort in short to medium rides. Even more surprising are some unexpected features: USB charging ports, LED headlamps, a reverse parking camera, and even basic air ventilation controls. In a car that costs less than a smartphone in some countries, these additions feel almost unbelievable. The windows are manual, the doors are light, and there's no unnecessary tech trying to impress you. But what's there is smart, functional, and well thought out. The car also has a tight turning radius, perfect for crowded cities and narrow roads. Its small frame makes parking effortless and driving stress-free. For safety, it includes seatbelts, reinforced doors, and front lighting visibility designed to meet urban safety standards. All of this proves one thing: affordable doesn't have to mean cheap in quality. The Yakuza EV was clearly designed by engineers who understood how people live and drive every day. It's not pretending to be a luxury vehicle, it's proudly practical. And in that honesty, it surprises and even impresses everyone who takes a closer look. India's growing EV ecosystem. The Yakuza EV didn't just appear out of nowhere. Its launch is the result of years of quiet progress within India's growing electric vehicle ecosystem.
India, the world's fourth largest automobile market, is undergoing a significant shift towards electric mobility.
While other countries were focused on flashy electric SUVs and high-performance sedans, India took a different route, slowly building the groundwork for affordable, mass-level electric transport. From government policies to startup innovation, the country has been laying down the pieces of the puzzle. The faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles, FAME, scheme helped create incentives for both buyers and manufacturers. States like Delhi, Tamil Nadu, and Maharashtra rolled out EV-friendly policies and tax reliefs. Infrastructure developers began setting up charging stations in urban areas and along major highways. At the same time, Indian startups and auto companies began experimenting with electric two-wheelers, e-rickshaws, and compact delivery vans.
They've become a common sight in New Delhi. Fully electric, these rickshaws offer what's being called an environmentally friendly alternative.
This step-by-step approach wasn't loud, but it was effective. Local battery production began picking up. Small cities started adopting e-mobility solutions for daily use. Even traditional manufacturers began shifting focus, seeing where the future was headed. All of these developments laid the perfect foundation for a car like the Yakuza EV to thrive. Without the growing supply chain, skilled EV engineers, and favorable government support, building a $2,099 car would have been impossible. The Yakuza didn't just benefit from India's EV growth, it symbolizes it. It represents how India's quiet, persistent progress has led to something bold, tangible, and globally disruptive. The world may have just noticed, but India's been preparing for this moment for years. The global shockwave. The moment news broke about India's $2,099 electric car, the ripple effect was felt across continents. Auto experts, journalists, and industry insiders were quick to react, some with amazement, others with concern. Headlines screamed, "India just changed the EV game," and social media lit up with comparisons, debates, and predictions. Some called it the beginning of a pricing revolution, while others questioned how long such a model could survive. But one thing was certain: the Yakuza EV had grabbed the world's attention. In regions where electric vehicles are still considered a luxury, this ultra-affordable model sparked immediate curiosity. Could such a car open doors for millions in developing nations? Could it redefine what consumers expect from EV pricing? Auto companies in China, Japan, and even Europe began re-evaluating their strategies. If India could build a usable EV at this price, what excuse did they have for charging 10 times more? Industry panels and think tanks began raising the alarm. This wasn't just a low-cost vehicle. It was a disruption waiting to spread. Even global investors began eyeing India's EV space with renewed interest. Suddenly, the world realized that electric innovation wasn't limited to Silicon Valley or Shanghai. It could rise from a country that understood scale, frugality, and mass production better than most. And in that moment, India wasn't just part of the electric revolution, it was leading a conversation. A silent underdog had thrown a loud challenge into the global ring, and now the entire EV industry had no choice but to respond. A threat to Tesla and BYD? The question now echoing across the auto industry is bold. Could a $2,099 Indian electric car threaten global giants like Tesla and BYD? At first glance, it may seem unlikely. Tesla rules the high-end EV market with advanced software, sleek designs, and long-range batteries.
In today's Tech Bites, a possible new look for the Tesla Model 3.
BYD, backed by massive production capacity, dominates China's EV scene with a diverse lineup. But the Yakuza EV isn't trying to compete on luxury or tech. It's challenging the very foundation of pricing. And that's where the disruption lies. For years, companies like Tesla and BYD have operated under the assumption that EVs are still a premium product. The Yakuza flips that idea on its head. It proves there's a growing market segment that doesn't care about autonomous driving or 300-mile ranges. They want basic, clean, and affordable transportation. That's a segment most global EV brands have ignored. Suddenly, India has tapped into it. If the Yakuza EV gains traction and other countries adopt similar models, it could force a massive shift. Tesla might be pressured to rethink its entry-level lineup. BYD might have to lower prices or introduce simpler variants for emerging markets. The Yakuza isn't a threat because it's better. It's a threat because it redefines what matters. And in doing so, it exposes a blind spot in the global EV strategy. It's not always about the smartest car. It's about the right car for the right people at the right price. And that's a challenge no global automaker can afford to ignore anymore. The power of localization. One of the biggest reasons the Yakuza EV could be priced at just $2,099 is something many global automakers still struggle with: localization. Unlike multinational companies that rely heavily on imported parts and international logistics, this car is built almost entirely within India. Every component, from the frame to the battery casing, is sourced locally. The workforce is local. The suppliers are local. The roads it's tested on? Also local. This deep connection to home-ground production allows costs to be slashed dramatically. There are no overseas shipping fees, no import taxes, and no foreign dependency on high-priced materials. Even the lithium-ion battery components, once sourced from China, are now being developed domestically as India ramps up its own battery production capabilities. Localization doesn't just cut costs, it gives control. It allows companies to adapt quickly to market needs, make design changes without massive delays, and fine-tune the car for Indian conditions. Dusty roads, heavy traffic, power fluctuations. Every challenge is accounted for by engineers who live in the same environment as the customer. That's something global automakers can't replicate overnight. While they face rising global costs and shipping delays, India's localized approach keeps the supply chain tight, flexible, and fast. And perhaps most importantly, it keeps innovation rooted. Potential global exports. Can this EV go worldwide? With the Yakuza EV gaining attention for its ultra-low price and practical design, one question naturally follows. Can this car be exported to the rest of the world? The answer isn't simple, but it's promising. Markets across Africa, Southeast Asia, South America, and even parts of Eastern Europe are filled with people who need affordable mobility. In these regions, high-end electric vehicles are out of reach, and public transport is often unreliable. A compact, low-cost EV like the Yakuza could be a perfect fit if it meets local safety and certification standards. That's the next big challenge. For global expansion, The car must pass crash tests, emission compliance for battery manufacturing, and legal requirements in each country. But India has experience in exporting small, budget-friendly vehicles. Brands like Bajaj, Hero, and even Tata have made their mark in international markets through low-cost engineering. If the Yakuza's manufacturers can secure international partnerships and adapt the car for export conditions, it could open the door to a global revolution in budget electric transport. Countries with dense populations and lower average incomes stand to benefit the most. Imagine students in Nigeria, shopkeepers in Vietnam, or farmers in Peru driving an EV that costs less than a motorbike in the West. That's not just innovation, it's impact. The Yakuza EV has the potential to break down barriers and redefine global access to electric vehicles. And if the world is smart, it will take notice, not just of the car, but of the country that built it. Urban and rural impact in India. The Yakuza EV isn't just a product, it's a potential turning point for how millions of Indians move every day. In cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and Bengaluru, where traffic congestion and pollution are part of daily life, a small, zero-emission vehicle offers a cleaner, quieter, and more compact alternative. It's perfect for short-distance commuters, delivery workers, gig drivers, and middle-class families who previously relied on scooters or used petrol cars. Parking becomes easier, fuel costs vanish, and maintenance is drastically reduced. But the real magic might happen outside the cities. In rural India, where access to reliable transportation is often a major hurdle, the Yakuza EV could be life-changing. Farmers, school teachers, health workers, and small shop owners could finally afford a personal vehicle that doesn't drain their income. For many, this isn't just a convenience, it's independence. The simplicity of the EV means fewer moving parts to break down, and home charging options could be implemented even in areas with limited infrastructure. Imagine a healthcare worker in a village using the Yakuza to reach patients faster, or a small-scale vendor transporting goods without spending on fuel. It's a ripple effect of empowerment that goes far beyond convenience. By bridging the urban-rural divide, this car could become more than a product. It could become a symbol of progress. And with its affordability, it doesn't just belong to the rich or the tech-savvy, it belongs to everyone. The Yakuza EV may have started as an economic innovation, but it could soon evolve into a social one too. Charging infrastructure, can India keep up? As promising as the Yakuza EV sounds, it raises a serious and important question. Can India's charging infrastructure support a mass wave of ultra-affordable electric vehicles? The answer, right now, is mixed. While major cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad are quickly rolling out public charging stations, the pace in smaller towns and rural areas is much slower. But that doesn't mean the challenge is unsolvable. In fact, the very simplicity of the Yakuza EV works in its favor. Because the car uses a smaller battery compared to luxury EVs, it doesn't require expensive fast charging stations. A basic wall socket at home is often enough to fully charge it overnight. This opens up possibilities for low-cost charging at homes, offices, and small businesses, even in areas where advanced infrastructure isn't yet available. Several startups and state governments are also working on deploying solar-powered charging hubs in rural areas, which could pair perfectly with low-energy EVs like the Yakuza. Companies are exploring battery swap models, portable chargers, and microgrid solutions tailored to compact EVs. India's power grid still faces challenges, but the technology around charging is adapting fast. The key will be making it accessible, affordable, and community-friendly. If successful, India won't just lead in EV affordability, it'll lead in charging innovation too. After all, what good is a cheap electric car if there's nowhere to charge it? The race isn't just about building the EV, it's about building the world around it. And that race is now officially underway. Environmental impact, small car, big difference. Beyond the price tag and innovation, the Yakuza EV represents something far more important: a cleaner future. In a country where air pollution reaches dangerous levels in many cities and fuel imports strain the economy, switching to electric mobility is more than a trend. It's a necessity. The Yakuza EV, with its compact build and low energy consumption, may not boast massive battery packs or ultra-long ranges, but its environmental impact is still significant. Every one of these cars on the road means one less gasoline engine spewing emissions into the air. Multiply that by tens of thousands, and you have a quiet but powerful shift in the urban atmosphere. The energy required to charge these cars is relatively low, and with the rise of solar energy and renewable integration in India's power grid, the potential for truly green transport grows stronger. Furthermore, since the Yakuza uses fewer materials and a lighter body, its manufacturing process leaves a smaller carbon footprint compared to traditional vehicles. Recycling and battery repurposing systems are still developing, but the car's modest design means future upgrades or replacements could be more sustainable. It's not just a car, it's a cleaner way forward. For a country with over 1 billion people, even small changes can create massive waves. The Yakuza EV proves that environmental solutions don't always have to be high-tech or high-cost. Sometimes, the biggest impact starts with the simplest step. And this small electric car might just become India's quiet weapon in the fight against pollution and climate change. The future of low-cost EV innovation. The launch of the Yakuza EV is more than just a headline. It's a signal of what's to come. For decades, innovation in the auto industry has mostly meant adding more features, more tech, and higher prices. But this car flips the script. It shows that true innovation isn't always about luxury, it's about access. By proving that a functional, road-ready electric vehicle can be built for just $2,099, India has opened the door to a whole new class of innovation, ultra-affordable electric mobility. And the ripple effects are just beginning. Already, startups and automakers are studying the Yakuza's business model to see how they can replicate or improve it. Engineers are thinking smaller, smarter, and more sustainably. We may soon see a wave of micro-EVs, modular vehicles, and subscription-based electric transport designed not just for the rich, but for the world. It could even change how cities are designed, with infrastructure built for compact electric cars, local energy grids, and neighborhood charging hubs. Countries with massive populations and low vehicle ownership, like Indonesia, Nigeria, or Bangladesh, could become major markets for vehicles inspired by this model. And back in India, the success of the Yakuza could push local innovation to new heights, creating competition, lowering prices even further, and transforming how people view mobility. The Yakuza EV may be the first, but it won't be the last. This is the start of a quiet revolution, one that could change not only how we drive, but who gets to drive in the first place. Final verdict: will it truly shake the industry? So now the big question remains: will the Yakuza EV truly shake the global electric vehicle industry? All signs point to yes. While it may not compete directly with luxury models from Tesla or the cutting-edge engineering of BYD, it doesn't need to. This car wasn't built for the elite. It was built for the overlooked majority, the millions who want clean, reliable transport but can't afford what the current market offers. That's the disruption. It challenges the very idea that EVs are only for the wealthy or tech-savvy. It tells automakers around the world that innovation should serve everyone, not just those who can pay top dollar. And it puts emerging markets like India at the center of the global mobility conversation. For the first time, the world is watching an electric car not because of how fast it goes, but because of how far it reaches. The Yakuza EV is more than a car. It's a wake-up call. A reminder that the future of transportation won't be led by just the biggest brands or the most expensive models, but by those who dare to think differently. And if this tiny, affordable EV can find its way into the hands of everyday people across India, and maybe beyond, then yes, It won't just shake the industry, it will reset it. The revolution didn't come with a roar. It came with a whisper on wheels. And now, the world has no choice but to listen. The story of the Yakuza EV is not just about a car, it's about a shift in perspective. For decades, electric vehicles were reserved for the wealthy, the tech-savvy, or the environmentally elite. But now, a new door has opened, one that welcomes everyday people into the future of mobility. India didn't just build a cheap EV, it built a powerful idea that clean, smart, and sustainable transport doesn't have to come with a heavy price tag. And while the giants of the industry race toward luxury and speed, India has quietly redefined the finish line. The revolution won't always roar. Sometimes it hums softly on 4 wheels, costs $2,099, and changes everything.